My name is Tara. And yes, I'm the worst friend a girl could ever have. As I walk through the narrow school hall in Men's High School, the whispers get louder. Snake, witch, backstabber, heartless girl. Honestly, maybe they are right. Because by the time everything ended, 3 friendships were destroyed, 2 girls changed schools, and I was standing in the middle of all the chaos.
I am what I think I am. Secrets remember. Tell me who I am.
Yeah, that is my friend, Epha Balogun. And before you ask, yes, she is beautiful. Not the loud kind of beauty that precedes the person. Epha's beauty is quieter than that, the kind you notice slowly. Sharp eyes, smooth dark skin, long fingers always stained with blue ink, because she is constantly writing. If you are one of those people who call girls like her bookworms, then congratulations, you and Epha would probably hate each other. She's brilliant, annoyingly brilliant, the only person in high school that could challenge me academically without giving herself a migraine. We met during an inter-school debate competition in SS1. The topic was, teachers are more important to society than doctors. A ridiculous topic, honestly. I mean, what is a doctor without a teacher? And what value is a dead teacher to society because there were no doctors? But I digress. Epha destroyed her side of the argument. I destroyed mine. And somehow, after insulting each other intellectually for about 40 minutes, we became friends. Our friendship was built on academics. Late night reading, shared notes, silent competition, mocking people that didn't know the difference between there and there. Good times. Or at least I thought so. The first crack appeared one Saturday afternoon in Epha's house. I had gone there to study for chemistry exams. Typical us. At some point, I slept off. And when I opened my eyes, I felt a hand resting on my thigh. Not accidentally, not briefly. Resting. I remember freezing first before I even looked up. Mr. Balogun, Epha's father, standing too close, smiling nervously. And Epha was sitting at the other side of the room, watching us. I still remember the expression on her face. Fear. Embarrassment. Something else too. Something I did not understand then. I slapped him before my brain even caught up with my body. A hot, dirty slap. The kind that shocks everybody in the room, including the person throwing it. He immediately stepped back and started apologizing, claimed he had lost his balance, said he was trying to stop himself from falling. Apparently, in the process of falling, his hand had somehow found its way under my skirt. Wonderful miracle of physics. He kept apologizing and laughing nervously until he finally left the room. I was still trying to understand what had just happened when I turned to Epha. And this girl started begging me. Begging. Tara, please don't tell anybody.
Please don't tell anybody. My mom won't believe me.
At first, I thought she was scared of me. Then she said something I have never forgotten. He only does small things. If we make trouble, he won't pay our school fees anymore. I honestly thought I misheard her. Then she told me everything. How she had tried telling her mother once, how nobody believed her, how she and her sisters had learned to endure these perverted acts. I remember sitting there feeling sick. Not because of her father anymore, because of how normal Epha sounded while explaining it. Like she had rehearsed the pain too many times already. Lord. Now, let's talk about Zanab Bello. Slim, elegant, dark-skinned beauty from Adamawa State. And when I say beauty, I do not mean the innocent kind. No. Zanab carried herself like somebody who had never been denied anything in her entire life. Which, to be fair, was probably true. Some people are born comfortable. Zanab was sponsored by destiny itself. While some of us thanked God for 3 square meals, the Bellos could probably feed an entire local government for 1 year and still argue over what luxury car to buy next.
I am what I think I am. Secrets remember. Tell me who I am.
Oil contracts, importation, foreign exchange, agriculture, real estate, government connections, and the businesses I am very sure nobody asks too many questions about. But maybe that was just my jealousy speaking. Zanab was not exactly what you would call academically gifted. She survived with C's that looked exhausted before they even reached the report card. And somehow, after certain hefty donations from wealthy parents and desperate schools, miraculous opportunities would appear. Supplementary tests, compassionate assessments, special considerations for students under emotional stress. Very touching things. Then suddenly, the Zanabs of this world would rise gloriously from near failure to respectable B- students. At first, I thought it was strange. Then, I grew up. Yeah, money flies. Morality takes public transport. I met Zanab at one environmental awareness event my father was chairing. My father is what Nigerians like to call an upright man. A man of integrity, a man that cannot be bribed, wonderful reputation. Unfortunately, integrity does not multiply money in your bank account. It mostly gives people free motivation to suffer with dignity. As much as it is a reputation that has preceded him, I do not care for it much. It hasn't put more than food on our table. We have just the amount of cars needed. 1. While it is a current SUV, current model, clean interior, air conditioning that actually worked, it was still one car. It wouldn't kill us to have two. My friends' families all have more than one car. The heck? I am almost certain Zanab's family had vehicles assigned to emotions. Happy mood, Range Rover. Bad mood, Mercedes. Feeling mysterious, black Lexus with tinted windows. One time, this girl came to school in a blue Ferrari because she was feeling blue. I wish I was joking. Anyway, while my father was passionately explaining how planting trees would improve the nation's future environment, Zanab and I escaped to find the bathroom. Yeah, we needed to make sure our nations were safe, and that was where we noticed we were wearing the same shoes. My mother deserves credit for moments like that. That woman may not have been married in wealth, but she refused to dress like poverty defeated her. She always made sure I looked polished enough to confuse people. Zanab found the coincidence hilarious. Then we discovered we attended the same school, and somehow, just like that, we became friends. A few weeks later, my father needed the car for work, which meant my mother and I were stranded. Again. I texted Zanab jokingly about it. Less than 20 minutes later, a red GMC pulled up in front of our gate. I stepped outside expecting to see her driver. Instead, Zanab was sitting in the back seat beside an older man I did not recognize. Beautiful silk kaftan, expensive wristwatch, the kind of perfume that enters a room before the person does. Later, she told me he was actually asking for her hand in marriage, although that was normal in her world. Powerful men negotiating futures like business contracts. The shocking part was not the ongoing wooing. The shocking part was that Zanab was genuinely considering running away with another boy, an unnamed boy she refused to tell me about for weeks. Now, personally, I thought this plan was ridiculous. Her father had extensive wealth and the connections of an octopus. He could probably locate a missing person before the police even filed paperwork. That man looked less like a parent and more like an entire government agency. But Zanab talked about love the way religious people talk about heaven, like it was worth risking everything for. And maybe that was why I protected her for so long. Because beneath all the designer bags, expensive perfumes, and soft-like behavior, Zanab was terrified. Not of poverty, not of school, not even of her father. She was terrified that one day, somebody else would choose her entire life for her, and she would smile while it happened. Now, let me tell you about my friend Amaka. Amaka Okonkwo. If beauty had a definition in Ecole Royalist High School, it was Amaka.
She is walking tall, step by step.
She was voted most beautiful more than once. Though I am not even sure who was still competing after she entered SS1. Dark skin that looked like it had been polished by sunlight itself. Eyes that always looked calm, even when everything around her was loud. A figure who made people stop talking mid-sentence without knowing why. She didn't walk, she glided, one leg in front of the other, like the ground had already agreed to not embarrass her. Sometimes I used to wonder if Amaka ever tripped in her entire life. I concluded she probably didn't, and if she did, even gravity would apologize. she was also the Holy One. Pastor's daughter, big church, big congregation, big reputation. Her father was one of the head pastors in one of the most respected Orthodox churches in town. Her mother, a deaconess, handled church administration like she was managing a financial situation. Tithes, offerings, special donations, building funds, harvest Thanksgiving. Everything passed through her hands. And Amaka was just there. Smiling, singing in the choir like she was personally responsible for the harmony of heaven. That is actually where I met her, church choir. And I won't lie, she sounded different. Not loud, not showy, just clean. Like her voice didn't belong in the room, but somehow the room allowed it to stay. Sometimes I used to joke in my head that she probably spoke to angels before coming to rehearsals. Anyway, one Sunday, boredom got the better part of us during service. Long sermon, very long. The kind where even the pastor's voice starts negotiating with fatigue. Maka leaned over and whispered that we should go and wait somewhere. We ended up in one of the inner rooms behind the church hall. That room, the one adults pretend children are not curious enough to find. Stacks of envelopes, bundles of cash, different currencies, neatly arranged like someone was counting blessings and converting them into denominations. I remember standing there thinking, so this is what faith looks like when it becomes physical. People really give this much. Every Sunday, I was almost ashamed of how impressed I was. Then we left, normal again. And I thought that was the end of it. Until after service, Amaka walked up to me, still smiling, still gentle, and she opened her bag. Inside was a bundle of cash, neatly wrapped, too neat. She looked at me and said softly, "What would you like to eat?" I blinked once, twice, because my brain was refusing to connect the words to reality. I looked at her face, searching for the joke. There was none. I asked her where she got it. And then she said, "It's your father's money." But here's the problem with being a child raised to respect authority. You start to recognize when something feels wrong, but you also start doubting your own judgment when it comes from the right people. I told myself I must be misunderstanding. Maybe she was helping her mother. Maybe it was reimbursement. Maybe it was something she learned that adults do that I would understand later. And then she asked again, softly, "What do you want to eat?" What would I like to eat? Whose money was that in her hands? I know for a fact it was not my father's money. If my father was Zanab's father and he attended this church, then there was a slight possibility that the bundle of cash in Amaka's hand could be from him. But my dad, I have never seen him hold a bundle of cash twice in my life. Not to talk of putting it all in the offering box. I must be dreaming. Could it be that Amaka, the gentle angel, just stole from the church? As much as I would love to tell you I declined that sinful offer, I hate to disappoint you, but I didn't. I took from that bundle. And then I took again. At first, I thought I was going to burst into flames as soon as I got home, but I didn't. Nothing happened. No lightning, no punishment, no sudden collapse of the world. Just silence, the kind that makes guilt louder. Let me explain something I told myself then. This was actually my father's money. Come to think of it, that money belonged to our Heavenly Father. He did not need it, but my brother did. My brother who was fighting something no one in my house wanted to name out loud. Something expensive. Something that made him disappear sometimes. Something my parents called stress. But I knew better. He was addicted to something that came in bottles and excuses. Codeine, syrup, whatever name it wore that week. He promised he was trying, and I believed him every time. So yes, I took the money, because in my head, I wasn't stealing. I was just redirecting mercy. Twisted explanation, right? Even I knew that, but at the same time, it made sense to me. The boys. Let's talk about the boys. Jacob, my crush.
There I was, a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Jacob Akinyemi. Calm, intelligent, athletic, and unfortunately aware of all the three.
And I'll have you taken the fall.
Which means yes, he knows he's good looking. And yes, he acts like it. Jacob is the kind of boy every girl in Ecole Royalist High School has quietly decided to ruin their academic focus over, including me. Yeah, Jacob makes my heart skip several beats and makes the butterflies in my belly go crazy. Now I know that is a sign of anxiety. No boy should have that much influence over your internal organs. Red flag. Anyway, then there is Abdul. Abdul is different. If Jacob is light, Abdul is shadow, pretending to be sunlight. Soft-spoken, friendly, almost too calm. The kind of boy teachers describe as well-behaved right before something terrible appears in the news and everyone starts asking how nobody noticed. He's also fast, very fast. He should be from Kenya. He won us the cup twice in a row. One thing though, he seemed dangerous to me. I wonder if it's the danger that drew my brother to him, but they are quite close. I worried about this friendship when it started. Abdul and Jacob would always hang in the corners in the garden after school with other boys. We had to wait for our dad to come pick us up from work. So that left my brother Jesse enough time to try curricular activities until, yes, he's now totally dependent on those activities to function. Guess who is not hooked to the nonsense? Jacob. And oh, who else? Abdul and his other peers. But my brother, who was once an athletic god, the brainstem of the sciences, the once disciplined boy, is now way too muddled up to function. Daily, I see him disappear. Dad is too occupied with work and mom will freak out. So I have to play the supportive young sister to save my brother from stealing to get his fix. Because you know what? These curricular activities cost a whole lot of money. Money we don't have. But then again, I digress. A quick peek at the gate man and the janitor, for they'll be important in just a few minutes. I believe I am good friends with the janitor. I pack him extra lunch when I come to school. I try to share some change with him. Not just because he reminded me of my dad in a weird way, but so he could keep an eye on my brother. The gate man, on the other hand, I could not break through to. He leaned more towards those who had bundles of cash to give him so they could sneak out of school, which I didn't have, so we were not so close. Maybe I should have tried harder. I know what you want. You want to know what happened. That is the entire purpose of stories, isn't it? The details. Fine, let's get into it. I had a wonderful friendship with my friends. Truly messy, questionable, possibly criminal, but wonderful. And honestly, I loved being in the center of it all. What was not to love? With Zanab, life felt forbidden in the most entertaining way possible. I spent more time than necessary inside luxury cars with tinted windows while she sneaked around with her forbidden lover, much to the chagrin of her driver. That limousine became its own strange little universe. Expensive perfume, cold air conditioning, soft leather seats, and things I definitely should not have been exposed to as a teenager. Movies my parents probably did not even know existed. Occasional alcohol hidden inside innocent-looking flasks. The occasional drag of something I pretended to enjoy because everybody else acted like it was freedom. Honestly, I hated the taste, but sometimes being included tastes better than comfort. Then there was Epha. I spent countless afternoons pretending to study in her room while secretly making sure her father never found a reason to linger too long near her door. Sometimes I still wonder how many times a teenage girl can push a grown man away politely before it becomes violence. And Amaka, sweet, holy Amaka. I joined her inside that sacred counting room more times than I should admit. Together, we touched offerings that did not belong to us. Funny enough, I never used the money on myself. Not once. My mother would have noticed immediately. That woman could detect financial inconsistency the way police dogs detect drugs. I handed over every kobo to my brother, Jesse, like a debtor to a loan shark. Every week, he would plead and beg for more, not minding nor asking where I was getting this money. Every week, he would promise me he was stepping it down my ass. He would try to sound convincing.
Truly, I am reducing it.
Truly, I am reducing it. Reducing what exactly? Because from where I stood, the only thing reducing was my peace of mind. The money disappeared faster. His excuses became smoother. His eyes became duller. And I was sinking, slowly, quietly. I stopped sleeping properly. My dreams became strange and heavy. The butterflies in my stomach were no longer about Jacob. Now they were fear. Fear of getting caught. Fear of becoming my own disappointment. I became disgusted with the routine of dragging Epha's father away from her bedroom door while pretending everything was normal. I was on a downward spiral, guys. I was having nightmares from watching this mediocre wannabe pornography in this limousine that was beginning to feel smaller and smaller every day. I became tired of helping my brother survive something he refused to fight. I was exhausted. Exhausted from it all. Who knew having an active social life could be this exhausting? And somewhere along the line, I realized something terrifying. I was not an innocent bystander in any of this. I was participating actively. Then came that Thursday, 3 weeks ago, the day Uncle P visited our school. I don't even remember the full topic of his speech anymore. I just remember feeling like every sentence was aimed directly at me, like somebody had peeled my skin open publicly. He spoke about integrity, about silence, about how people slowly become the evil they tolerate. After assembly, I could not breathe properly because suddenly everything became painfully clear. My brother was drowning partly because I kept helping him drown comfortably. Epha was trapped in that house because all of us kept protecting the secret instead of confronting it. I was sitting inside, moving disasters, pretending they were friendships. I was stealing from church. Church! Honestly, who knew I even had sacrilegious abilities? I remember thinking, I am the active villain in my own story. So after that school day, I spoke to them one by one. I told them I was done. Not gradually, completely. I told them I was turning over a new leaf. Actually, no, forget leaf. The entire tree was rotten. I wanted to burn the whole thing down. That conversation did not go well. Epha looked terrified. She was concerned I would ruin her life. I had become a threat instead of a friend. They expressed their fears. Amaka was concerned her family would be destroyed. And Zanab, well, she felt I was suddenly acting morally superior, as if I thought I was better than everybody. Funny thing is, I did not think I was better. I was becoming worse.
We were happy, at least I think so.
Slowly, they drifted away from me.
Some things change.
Lunch without me, conversations without me, rides home without me. I became invisible. That sometimes I wondered if I imagined the friendship in the first place. And yet, for the first time in a long time, I slept peacefully. No nightmares, no guilt, no panic, just silence. Beautiful silence. I even started focusing properly on WAEC preparations again. Mock exams were approaching, life was stabilizing. Sure, I had lost my friends, bummer, but at least I had myself again.
I am what I think I am. Secrets
Or so I thought. But then came last Thursday, the third Thursday without my friends. My brother burst into the house looking terrified. Apparently, an external inspector had almost caught some boys smoking forbidden grass behind one of the school buildings. They escaped. At least that was what Jesse believed. But fear was dripping off him like sweat. And suddenly, mine returned too. We were in our final year. One scandal could destroy everything. One expulsion, one report, one stupid mistake. And my brother already looked guilty even while breathing. That night, I barely slept. By morning, I was convinced something terrible was coming, that my brother was about to take a fall from whatever Humpty Dumpty was doing on that wall. We were in our final year. This was not a time to get kicked out of school. What if someone recognized him? What if his so-called friends rat him out? I couldn't wait to get to school the next day. I was worried sick. The next day at school felt strange. Too quiet. Whispers everywhere. None drifting to my ears. Conversation stopping when I walked past. I was now on the outside looking in. Of course, I no longer had friends, but still, I could feel it. Something had shifted. This world had turned against my brother. Scratch that. This world had turned against me.
Happy, at least I think so. Something's changed, something stayed. I didn't see it, not yet, not then.
So my friends, my crush, and his friend made a plan.
There I was, a wolf in sheep's clothing.
The gate man was going to testify of prior knowledge of my brother doing them contaminated syrups. They made a plan.
Bat an eyelid, and I'll have you taken the fall.
He was going to put that forbidden grass in my brother's locker along some powder. They were going to put the cheat papers of the upcoming mock exams in my locker. They were going to make it look like I was fake the whole time. Not only were they going to make me a collateral damage in my brother's takedown, they planned to do it on a live stream. Well, imagine their shock when their lockers were being searched and out came tumbling them grass and dust. Who says it doesn't pay to be friends with the help? Oh, that Zanab's locker. Remember all those days in the limousine and luxury cars? I have some saved images of that. Yeah. Her father will be making a huge donation to make those go away. But today, they come in full view to be watched in the same live stream orchestrated for me. And that's Epha's locker. You may wonder, what could I possibly have on Epha? Well, nothing she cannot recover from. Apart from reporting her dad to the appropriate authorities.
But it wasn't me! I swear!
Enough! I don't want to hear it.
Those cheat papers will be found in her locker. Yeah, she's got some explaining to do. I mean, I endured continuous harassment from her perverterous father. And she paid me with silence. Not even a hint of what was going down. Don't judge me, she should have said something. I thought she was my friend. That's her punishment for silence. And oh yeah, that is the almighty Amaka's locker. You know how blessed she is with pilfering. Well, someone begged the janitor to leave the principal's marked bundle of cash on the table for a pilferer to find. Not mentioning names. Fine, my humble self. I begged the janitor. If you have banked in Nigeria, you know sometimes the bundles come with a stamp. Amaka received a call on Monday to go to the principal's office, which has a hidden camera. If hopefully my instincts are right, she will do the harm all by herself. Of course, the money will be gone by the Tuesday, which is today when they will be searching her locker. But there will be another bundle there. We just need her to get caught in the act. Plus, a bunch of other important teacher's items will be found in her locker too. I should feel bad. I am sorry, but I don't.
I am what I think I am.
While I watch with satisfaction how these girls are going to
Explain
fight for
this.
their lives, explaining
Now.
themselves out of this very murky situation, I am almost certain they will not be getting expelled. Zanab's father practically runs the school, and Amaka's parents and Ife's mom will donate their way out of this. But the stigma, my friend, that stays, and it gets even twisted over time. Oh yeah, and Jacob, oh, he's getting expelled. The amount of illegal powder found in his locker, and that of his friends, is enough to take down a hippopotamus. No amount of donations will get them out of this. They had the nerve to want to pin this on my brother. Yeah, he's gone to rehab. Mama shipped him off 3 seconds after I confessed 3 weeks ago. As I walk down this empty hallway, I can't help but say out loud, yeah, I am a bad friend. Do not make the folly of leaving your secrets with me.
Tell me who I am.
Thanks for watching.